I'm wasn't sure if I was even going to get on. Kept saying error. So anyway, I'm live, both in body and spirit. Now, today's topic is based on another group, and this time it's called Haunted Dolls and Other Items. And that seems to be a very popular topic amongst the paranormal community. And I wanted to just, from my own experience in that, share with you what I consider a haunted doll and other items. You know, that's basically, when I say other, hey Tinker, and that basically, when it says haunted dolls and other items, that can mean anything that has an emotional attachment to it. Okay, it can be clothing, it could be jewelry, it could be furniture, it could be toys. What's most popular are the dolls and that. And but the one thing that always intrigued me was, what's this idea about a spirit being attached to a doll or jewelry or furniture or what have you? Like, what's the reasoning behind that? You know, and what I can do is give you some examples that Spirit gave me a little while ago. Well, the examples that I was given is basically, like, for example, you got an older guy. He has his favorite armchair, and that he has many, many happy times, happy memories of that chair. He's fallen asleep in the chair. He's watched the game in that chair. Come think of it, that sounds like my grandfather, and that. And because he has such a strong emotional attachment to that chair, that that chair to him is more like a throne. Like, no one else can touch it. You know, that's his and his only. So naturally, when he passes, he doesn't want anybody else touching it. That's his. And so naturally, there's an emotional attachment to that chair. Okay? And so no matter where the chair goes, he goes. You know, because that's his, you know, baby. And that. So true when it comes to children and dolls. Because don't forget, back in Victorian times, whenever a little girl received a dolly, and that, there's an automatic emotional attachment. Because to the little girl, that dolly is not just a dolly. That's almost considered the little girl's pretend daughter, and that, and automatic emotional attachment to the doll, and that, and it doesn't really matter if that little girl passed as a child or passed as an elderly person. Doesn't really make any difference, and that doll represents so many happy times, so many comforting times for that girl, that when she leaves the physical, you'll think, okay, I'm out of the physical body now. Now I gotta go back to my baby. I'm going back to my doll, and that. So, so her emotional energy is now part of that doll, and that, and she will not let the doll out of her sight. So no matter where that doll goes, she goes. And yep, yeah. Actually, Tanker, stuff like that does not surprise me at all. You know, like those dolls become such a strong part of a little girl's life. You know, like it's almost like having another member of the family. You know, there's that emotional attachment that cannot be severed, and that regardless if that girl you know, when she passes, and that. But the funny part is that before the Victorian time, and that before spiritualism really kicked in, and that the little girl loved the doll, and the two almost become one. But when strange things started happening around the doll after the little girl passes, they didn't understand what was going on. Although in some cultures they thought that the doll could be cursed, and that's because they didn't understand what spirit could do. And we'll share. Yep. Yeah, I've heard that. Yep. I mean, actually, that makes complete sense. And that attachment, but you see, as soon as the spiritualist movement started, and even towards the end of the Victorian period, that's when people started to realize, okay, there's more to this than just emotional attachments, and that's it. Okay, there's a thing about, like I said, that the little girl has a strong attachment to the doll, just like the elderly man had a strong attachment to the chair. And that, you see, it doesn't matter if it's what item it is, there's always an emotional attachment, even when it comes to jewelry. And that the spirit can be attached to jewelry. And hey, Nikki, and you see, once there's an emotional attachment to an item, and that I wouldn't have the heart to separate them because there's so many happy memories for that individual, right? And but when it comes to now, there's another example I can give you is you take one doll, a very old doll, let's say it's was purchased in the early Victorian era or something like that, early 1800s, and it had more than one owner. Okay, and you know, let's say one little girl owned it for a while, she passed, to another owner owned it for a little while, passed, and so on and so forth. Okay, well, it's very, very possible that you get hold of that doll, and it can have more than one energy attached. Okay, it can have multiple spirits attached to the same doll, and that's only because you get, for example, you get three little girls, each one from a different time period, each one with a really strong emotional attachment to that doll, and the only trouble is when their energies intermixed, they're aware of each other. And then all of a sudden, there's competition. There's bitterness. There's resentment. Like, how dare you? And how dare you hang on to my doll? You know, that kind of feeling. And I know many people have mentioned that when it comes to one or a couple of dolls, and that they found, well, there's a feeling of resentment. There's a lot of negativity around the doll. Well, that could be the reason, is because you got more than one spirit attached, more than one little girl, and there's, like I said, competition, and that they're competing against the doll, saying, "Oh no, that's mine! Oh, that's mine! That's mine! That's mine!" And you always have to tell the three girls, "Okay, girls, okay, cool with the competition, and then why don't you share the doll instead of hogging the doll?" Well, I'm not sure if anybody's ever been successful in that area, because like some little girls are so strong-willed, and they think, "Oh no, this is my doll and nobody else's." Okay, that's when the resentment. I get the feeling of resentment, of anger, the feeling of bitterness. no, these other girls want the doll and they don't want me to have it anymore, which is not going to happen, you know. And they get mixed feelings and stuff. All that energy builds up around the doll. That's why a lot of people feel kind of creeped out, you know, because of one or a couple of dolls, what have you, and that. And even when it comes to the, and to me, it doesn't make any difference what the doll, even what the doll's made of. You know, like the older ones were made of porcelain. Then there were a form of glass and plastic and that. But the older ones, I think, were made of some form of porcelain and that. And as time went on, their faces started to deteriorate, crack, and everything. So that's how you can tell how old the dolls are, and become more fragile. Okay, but according to the little girl, that's her new dolly. Don't touch it. You know, that's the feeling I get whenever I see a photo of certain dolls, and that. And when it comes to, even when it comes to furniture, and that, you get an elderly couple. They buy I'll give you an example. A tea set with the tray and that. Well, they loved it so much because it has so many happy memories attached to it. And I say it's handed down from one family member to another, or they donated or what have you and that. But wherever that tea set and the tray goes, they go. And if that stuff is not cleaned properly or is mistreated, what have you, and that elderly couple, they get very upset, very bitter. And they say, hey, if you're not going to take good care of my tea set and tray, and that, I'm not going to let you have it at all. That's usually when things start to move, and that, because they know that will scare the people or what have you, and that. So basically, I would say to people that own an item that you believe there's a spirit attachment, and that, treat the item with respect. It's always good to find out who's attached to it, and you know, the history behind the previous owner if possible. You know, that's always fun to do, and that, at least that way you'll know who owned the item before you did. That way, when you get it, and that, or when you encounter it, and that, you say, okay, this tea set belonged to this couple. They want to treat it with respect, so I will treat it with respect. You know, and I clean it and all that kind of stuff. Same with the dolly. Treat it like, almost treat it like a newborn baby, and that, very gently, and that, because if that little girl was in the physical, she would say, oh, watch my dolly, oh, watch your head, watch this, watch that. You know, very protective, and that. But they want you to have the same attitude, right? And that, so like I said, you know, when it comes to spirit attachment, it's not always a bad thing, and that, but there are some items that do have an attachment, that the attachment is not human. Okay, like everybody knows about the item called the divot box, okay, and it's supposed to have a trapped demon inside, and that, and it said that do not open up the front doors or the demon will be released. Well, unfortunately, people ignored that and opened up the doors enough, you know, all crap went loose and they got a demon running amok. So I'd say that if you know an item that's with an attachment that's either not from the earth plane or something that's negative, stay away from it. And unless you really understand what you're facing or what you're getting yourself into, please be careful, okay? If you're told there's a negative energy attached to this item, and that, best thing to do, leave well enough alone. And that, unless you know what you're doing and you got proper protection, and that, because like a lot of people don't believe in the big box thing, and they don't, that's just all hogwash, and that, well, You know, the old saying goes, better be safe than be sorry. Well, then, well, right here would definitely apply to that. I would say, you know, if you got a, you know, like your own so-called spidey senses would tell you if there's anything negative attached to this item. And if those spidey senses say, oh, whatever is attached to this item is bad, negative, listen to your inner self and then think, okay, if it's not good, stay away. Okay, just be on the safe side. And that unless you know what you're doing, unless you know proper protection, unless you know the history behind the item, best thing to do. And that even if you did know what you're doing, all that kind of stuff, there's certain safety precautions, and that don't take it lightly. Okay, even if it's negative, treat it with respect. Okay, and if you're told to do things, if you're told not to do certain things, well, then respect that. And that. But when it comes to the innocent things like toys and furniture and jewelry and stuff like that, and it has attachments, but it's a positive attachment. Although there can always be a competition among spirits, and that still treat with respect. And that, because the group that I'm representing right now is called 100 Dolls and Other Items, and I've seen several posts of different dolls that I could feel uneasy about on some of the photos. Well, I think that's just the spirits not happy about how the dolls are handled. Whether there's competition or there's unfinished business amongst the spirit people. You know, a whole laundry list of possibilities as to, you know, why this icky feeling is coming from the doll. And that still, you know, it doesn't hurt to research the doll to see who owned it, if there's more than one attachment, you know, whatever, and that treat with respect. And then that's my suggestion, that's my opinion. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of the stuff I'm telling you now, I actually got from Spirit yesterday, I think it was, but he gave a little bit more today. And you know, a lot of the stuff I'm telling you today just popped in my head, and I thought, okay, I definitely got to make a video on this because I got excited. Because believe it or not, even my wife, she's got some dollies from her childhood. And yes, I checked them and there's no spirit attachment. And in a way, I was disappointed, but in a way, not disappointed. I was kind of hoping there'd be some kind of attachment, but I thought, whatever. She loves them. But, and then we have some jewelry here that belonged to her mom. There is, it's not really a spirit attachment. It's just residual energy comes from the jewelry. You know, it's just happy memories, and there's no attachment. It's just residual energy around the jewelry, just a little bit, and that I tapped into that, and I found out where she got the jewelry from, and that's about it. You know, I was happy. So was the wife, and so. Anyway, when it comes to, I'm just trying to think of any other items that can have a spirit of attachment. You know, it could be just about anything in that. But the most popular, it seems to be different kinds of dolls and that. And, you know, now when it comes to the dolls that are supposed to have movable eyes and all that kind of stuff, and I've seen videos of dolls that have actually moved their eyes and stuff like that. Well, I think Spirit is actually manipulating the dolls just to say, hey, we're here. Okay, usually that's the case. Sometimes it can actually be a negative energy attached to the doll disguising itself as a little girl. And that can make the doll's facial expressions to change. Okay, sometimes. Okay, but But yeah, and unfortunately, there's been some dolls, like in the movie The Conjuring. No, not The Conjuring. Annabelle, the Raggedy Ann doll, and that. Well, that is a classic. Okay, that is in fact a demon inside a Raggedy Ann doll. If you ever come across a doll like that, stay away. They'll run amok. But luckily, they're at that museum of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and they're and it's not encased, but entombed in a case, and so its energy cannot leave, and that's a classic case of a real demonic haunting, and that's stuff like that. I forget it. Doesn't mean all Raggedy Ann dolls are the same. It's just that particular one, But anyway, people, I think that's all. I think that's all I can think of when it comes to items that can have a spirit attachment. It's usually an innocent thing, an emotional attachment. That's about it, And should you detach the little girl from the dolly? No, she's happy, and then she's enjoying good, happy memories of that doll. And if she's happy with the doll, why separate her? If she wants to cross over when she wants to, fine. And although there has been some parents have said, leave the dolly alone, come with us. And they said, oh, and the little girl says, oh, no, I'm staying with my dolly. And if that's the case, then sure, I'm willing to try to tell the little girl, okay, the dolly has a new owner. The new owner will take good care of the dolly. You need to join with your parents in the heavenly realms. She'll do just fine. And if the parents call them, there's always a chance to she'll say, okay, well, you take good care of my dolly. I'm going to go tell my parents. If a situation like that ever came up, I'd be glad to help the little girl to move on. I'd be thrilled to do that. But yeah. So anyway, people. Again, with this video, with this live, if you like this live, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and also tickle the bell icon, so every time I go live, you'll get a notification. Okay, if you liked this video, hit the thumbs up, and let me know what you liked about it. But if there's something that you didn't like about it, hit the thumbs down. But let me know what it was that you liked or what it was that you didn't like. That way, I'll learn, what to do, what not to do. Okay. Because when I do these streams, if it's not benefiting you, then, I must be doing something wrong in that. Because when it comes to the enjoyment of the stream and the benefiting, that's a two-way street. Okay. So, like I said, if there's something that should be done in the streams that isn't done, please let me know. Okay. And I was thinking of learning how to edit these videos, but I think that only goes with pre-recorded videos, not live streams. At least that's what I've learned. But so far it is okay. No problems. Even though when I first started this stream, I kept getting an error thing, but I got around that, thank God. So anyway, people. In the links below, I'll have the link to that Facebook page, Facebook group, the $100 and Other Items, and also I have a link to the group that I'm part of, SWYPT, and that on Facebook, as well as Derek Green Psychic Medium. I'll have a link for that, as well as White Rose Paranormal Investigations. Okay, some amazing teams, and I believe they're out tonight for investigation, so please don't miss that. Okay, it should be pretty amazing. And there's something special about. I think they're doing an extra long investigation, and and or something like that. Anyway, join the group, find out to see what's going on, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So anyway, people, gotta go, and I would say at the end of each stream, thanks so much for joining. And Dust it down. Okay, bless you, Tanker. Yeah, starting tonight, they're doing a dust on investigation and that, and it's going to have extra people involved, so please don't miss it. It'll be in the SWYPT group. Okay, Southwest Yorkshire Paranormal Team. Okay, there's going to be a whole slew of people. It's going to be an amazing investigation. Can't miss it. Okay, it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, and it's going to be an investigation that you'll remember for a very, 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 very long time. It's going to be that good. So, anyway, people, until my next stream, love and light to all.